Okay, so you don't get overwhelmed with it or depressed, you know. Just work fast, people. So, pretty straightforward. Just brown it, right? You just fry it up a bit to start releasing some of that grease, okay? Same thing with the pork. This one's the pork. Lean and regular. Lean and regular. Okay? And there's my jars. Right? There's my turkey. Oh, that's good juice. And then we've got the chicken over there under the chair. You can see. Hold on. Okay, so basically that's the fat from the pork. You can see. I boiled it off. Okay? Now I put water in the jars, people. Okay? I put a little bit of water. Okay? With that anyway. Now, there's the fat on the beef. So you don't want that, right? So I'm just going to start filling up my jars, and then I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of salt in each one. So hold on. Okay. And then you add some water in there to about an inch. You can see. Inch head space, right? And then just kind of break up your bubbles. Make sure, you know, just go through it quickly. Okay? Like that. I looked online. When in doubt. Right? Did you forget? Actually, I've never done ground beef, so anyway, it says a teaspoon of salt. It says you can with either tomato juice, water, hot water, or beef broth. In this case, I just used hot water, boiled water from the stove, right? Same thing with the pork, right? Just double check everything, make sure it's all good. Right, just release a few air bubbles. That's what you do. Okay. I'll let you know later how much it works out to be per jar, approximately. Okay, just to give you a rough idea. Okay. Oh, I don't know why I do this, people. Kind of stress myself out. But I'll tell you, these politicians, they think this is a game. Okay? I don't know why people are being so gullible with it. They're taking advantage of vulnerable people. That's what they're doing. Okay? Oh, wait. I don't know if I did that one. Just move it around a little bit. Put your lids on, finger tight, 75 minutes in the pressure canner. Okay, so now, as this is going to cook, right? I'm just venting it right now. I'm going to cut this up. I'm going to see if I can do this tonight because I'm tired, people. But I'm going to see if I can do this tonight in terms of canning the meat part, right? Vacuum sealing the bones and everything, I'll do tomorrow morning. And then that little bit of turkey that I had left over, you can see what I did. It's not the way I was going to cook it. But anyway, I just threw it in that, and then I took the hamburger juice, some of it, and I just poured that in there, and I'm just going to cook it with that. And then this I'm going to put in a jar. I'm going to put it in the fridge. And then later on, I guess what you can do is you can take off the grease and then use the gelatin part of it, right? And you can bake the potatoes in it. So that's kind of why I'm just in with the turkey, right? So hold on. The thing around so I can see myself. No, other way. Yeah. That's it. Thanks. Okay, go back and do whatever you were doing. I don't know what time it is, but I'm going to try and get this second batch done. So as this is cooking away, right, as this is cooking away, I thought I'd talk to you while I prepare this for a few minutes. Now, I do have to say that I recanned the turkey, right, from those jars, and I'm going to upload it with this video, okay? I'll put it first, so or maybe I'll put it last. I'll put the finishing touches of the turkey at the end of this video, just so that you can see how lids can react to a pressure canner, right? Especially when it's liquid, Okay? So, but that's not what I want to talk about. I'm kind of tired, so I walked all the way there and all the way back. And I pulled the buggy, which was quite heavy. So, but I got this, you know, to worry about the city, right? Because I live in a neighborhood that's booming in a depressed community. Right? The neighborhood is booming, the housing is booming, but the people themselves, well, some people, apparently a lot of people are doing really good in BC based on, you know, what the health minister has to say with that Bonnie Henry, right? So, now, some of this stuff, I like that a little bit in my jars. I don't mind it, right? So, I'm going to put some in. This was, I don't know, what was it? $3.49 a pound? One was $3.49 a pound, which I got a little more, and the other one was $3.79 a pound. Or maybe I got them both in the same pile, I don't know. $3.49 a pound. And I bought about $32 worth, something like that. So we're going to find out how many jars I get. And if I can do them after this, at least 12, because I've got a case of 12 jars there. That's when I bought them, I don't know, a few months back. So I've been lucky so far. I have to go buy more though. I don't have any more now. Right? I like the size jar that I'm working with. So you just work fast. Fast. Right? Like this. And then, see, I'm getting now to the point where I don't feel so panicky in terms of, I put this away after this little bit's done. I'm putting my pressure canner away for a while. Right? When it gets closer to blueberry time, if I have another turkey downstairs, and if I haven't eaten it by then I'll can it. But for now, I'm good. Right? So that's what I'm working on. I'm working on a plan here. And with this little extra meat, you can see how it's, after it's all ready to go downstairs, there'll be box, and you'll see how nice it is, and you'll wish it was your boxes. That's what you'll wish. And I'm showing you how to do it real fast. Right? I mean, obviously you have to spend a bit of money, but it's better to spend it now and have it later than not have it, because one, it's not there, or it's just going to be too expensive to buy. And this is pretty much what the provincial government of British Columbia, Canada is doing. It's building in a two-tiered system where those below a certain class and who are rabble-raisers, conspiracy theorists, will definitely be on the target list of things to do when it comes to a government trying to protect itself before it protects the actual public that it was elected to represent. Right? So, you know, I'm trying to stay as positive as I can in a literal nightmare where everybody's running around acting like they're in a Star Wars movie. Right? And I said to all those workers that I ran into today, I said, I feel so sorry for you. I feel so sorry for you. I tried to even educate them a little bit with an opinion outside of what their employer is telling them, or wherever they're being forced to, you know, work under, like, I don't know, people, like this. I can't imagine what these people are feeling, having to wear fucking face masks and, you know, and it goes all plastic all the way around, and like they're looking like they're ready to go to bloody Mars. And then masks underneath that, yeah, like it's just too much. It's too much. Some people are just walking around in a freaking daze. Like, literally, just walking around in a freaking daze. They don't know what to think. And the homeless, oh man. Oh man. You know, with Ciera dead, I used to give Ciera money all the time, right? It got kind of annoying though, because she was coming every day sometimes. Every day for money. And every day I'd give her money. And some kind of money. I'd holler at her sometimes when I was giving it to her. But if it was in the house, I gave it to her. So anyway, now I don't have to give to her, right? Because she's not here no more. So every now and then, when I have it, I'll swing a 20. I'll be just walking down the road, right? And I got money. You know, I know I have money. I know I'm okay. Right? I know I've got food in the house. You know, that kind of thing. And I'll just swing them a 20. They look at me. They almost ready to cry, people. God bless you. God bless you. I'm not looking for God to bless me. I'm looking for God maybe to bless you more. I wish God would help you more. Because if God could help you more, then my daughter's life wasn't in vain. Right? Like, the hypocrisy around the government is just so I don't know. I don't even know what the word is for it. So full of hypocrisy, though. Trying to protect people. If they were trying to protect people and keep people healthy and all this stuff, I'll tell you, why didn't they do more for Ciera? We walked past today, Andre and because we were walking, right, with the buggies, and the baby in the buggy and stuff. And we walked past the modules that the government brought in to get the people off the street, right? Because, you know, they're trying to beautify the neighborhood. So anyway, he said, how come, you know what he asked me? He asked me, how come my mom, how come mommy didn't get a module? How come she didn't get a place to live? He asked me that today as we walked by them. And I'm like, I don't know, Andre. Your mother deserved to have one of those. I don't know why she didn't get one. Right? They knew she needed it. Right? And she never got one, people. And, you know, walking out there with the people, you can see some of them sick like Ciera. You know, don't talk to me about your fucking healthcare system, man. No. Because all I seen today was another Target. That was it. I seen another Ciera being in another snuff movie so that some fucking dirty cop and crooked coroner and fucking politician can sit up there on their computer and, you know, have fantasies about whatever it is that these people fantasize about as entertainment. And then make, what, $40 million off of that little movie? As they plot and scheme who they're going to attack next. Because now they're bored and they need something new to look at. Right? But that's a conspiracy theory. Right? We don't have snuff movies. There is no such thing. Right? I haven't gone out there and really talked to the people yet. Right? I want to find out how many of them are fucking disappearing and how many of them are dying. I really want to find out. And if I've got an extra 10, 25 or whatever it is, I swing it. I swing it to them, people. I do. Because you can't take it fucking with you, that's for sure. Right? You know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to make it through this madness. It's too bizarre. Right? Until you've been gang-stalked and have all these bad things happen like has happened to my family, maybe you'll never truly understand what I'm talking about. Because you haven't had to walk through it. You haven't had to go through it. You haven't witnessed it. You haven't, you know, you haven't witnessed the way they treated Uncle John and the rest. It wasn't just Uncle John that was made to sit in a dirty diaper all day fucking long. It was all those people in that care home. Because a little old white lady was asking my kids to take her to a freaking bathroom because those, workers that come in off the fucking airplane or boat or however they swim in right? You know, these swim-in people, they weren't taking nobody to the bathroom. Nobody. And then they wonder why fucking diseases travel through those places real freaking fast. Yeah, when you're changing diapers, spreading shit around. Anyway, I told you what that was all about. It was backpedaling because the BC Liberal government privatized the healthcare system, started privatizing the healthcare system, beginning with old folks' homes. And then the federal government cut a deal with some China fucking company to buy them out. And they made billions of dollars. As the old people are made to sit in diapers. Under lock and key. With nobody witnessing anything now. And people aren't saying nothing about it. And if they do, they're called conspiracy theorists. Oh, I must be one of those. Right? So I don't know how much longer I have to live on this earth, people. Seriously. The kind of people that are doing this kind of stuff, they don't like competition. That's why the non-profit has never gone anywhere. Nope. They'll lead you down the garden path. They'll tell you you can do something. Oh yeah, start a non-profit. Oh yeah, be this, be that. Be kind, be kind, be kind, be kind. And then, as you're moving along, putting in this, putting that proposal, you know, they've all manufactured poverty. If they don't want you to fucking succeed, trust me, you won't succeed. Okay? You have to sacrifice your soul first before you fucking succeed at anything when it comes to dealing with freaking government and government employees and just politics in general. And that includes helping people. That's why when I'm walking down the street, if I've got extra money in my pocket, I just pass it on and move on. I keep on moving on. They're like, hey, thank you, oh, thank you, God bless you, God bless you. And I'm like, that's the least I can do. If I could do more, I would. Right? It never made me feel good knowing that my daughter was roaming the streets. But my government didn't give me much of a choice. Right? They really didn't. I seen another Ciera today, people. I seen my daughter today. She could have been my daughter. And my heart went out to her. And I wanted to give her a hug. And tell her that everything was going to be okay. That somebody was advocating for her. Actually advocating for her. I didn't do that. I was with Andre and the baby, and I was pushing a buggy, and there was a whole bunch of other people around, and it would have been just words, you know? I mean, anybody can talk, right? Anybody can talk, right? I got 25 more minutes. So I hope to get this done within 25 more minutes. Clean this off, bring out my jars, and then just throw these in jars. Because these ones, it just goes in raw, no water, nothing, easy peasy. Okay? And because I'm using pint-sized jars, no more than 75 minutes. Easy peasy. So I did a lot today, considering everything. Okay, now this one's too fatty, right? So we'll just put that somewhere else. And then because I like rind, this one though, I'm going to vacuum seal them, right? Because when it's vacuum sealed, you get years out of it, people. And this is how you have to think about food storage, right? What's the best for some things? But then you also want that versatility, right? You want frozen meat, you want canned meat. I wouldn't necessarily say dehydrated meat. I don't dehydrate meat for food storage. It's either canning or freezing. That's it. Right? But you want a choice. Because if the hydro goes out and you end up having a big feast and no more frozen meat to eat, you still got canned food. Right? And that's why I do it. Right? So something like this, right? I would just fold in half, put 2 in a bag, and vacuum seal them. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And then, of course, label. Label everything. Because you'll forget. It just makes it easier. So, I'm really worried about my grandkids, people. We gotta find a means to fight back. Right? I mean, I'm already fighting. But I feel like I have to pick up the ante because of how the public's being hoodwinked. Like literally, you see, we have a lot of immigrants out here too. So they're not gonna want to rock the boat because there's 2 kinds. Okay, there's the rich fucks, right? Those ones that sit up in the big houses that like living in their little bubbles, right? That's why they come here and build those houses, because they can live in their little bubbles. Marquet, my son, right, is a tree cutter, right? And he gets up further out where it's richer neighborhood. And you got these big ass houses, I'm telling you, that are owned by Chinese, people like that are full of jade, ornaments, that kind of stuff. And like they're like mini mansions, right? With fish ponds and all kinds of crazy shit. And he comes and he cuts the trees, right? And some of these houses, people just sit empty. Just sit fucking empty. Or the people that live inside, they peek through the window to see the tree cutter. They won't come out and say anything. They just peek. That's who the politicians are selling this province to. People like that. And then because they got all that kind of money, well, they're the ones trafficking the organs. Right? Whether it's for fucking pet food, human food, fucking science experiments, ornaments, spirit cooking, right? Fucking transplant, right? Doesn't matter where it goes. It's all the same. It comes with $1 in transit, right? Government doesn't do anything about it. Nope. But they keep on talking about what a great fucking healthcare system we have. As I sit here and, well, I'm not sitting here, as I do this, waiting to die. Because this is what's left. What's left in this world. Outside of that. Right? You can't start a business. Right? You know how many times I've tried to start a business, people? Enough times, trust me. Right? Tried to found an honorable, fucking, honest, non-profit. And what did my government do with that? Play games. Made it fucking hard. Right? Led me down the garden path, thinking I could do something, and then when I finally fucking came to the door and said, okay, here it is, they, you know, allowed one thing to go through one way, and then denied the other thing to go through the other way, knowing that everything would just fall apart. Right? And then, you know, start attacking my family members so that I become antisocial. Or a conspiracy theorist, or anti-government, or whatever, you know, then you're like, who wants to help me with the non-profit? Why? What for? What's it going to get me? It's not going to get me anywhere. It's not going to get anybody anywhere because that's not the agenda. The agenda is to keep selling the fucking houses at maximum dollars by any means necessary. Let them sit empty, right? Pretend that we're actually doing something about it, when in fact, yeah, they're just bringing in the immigrants through the back fucking door. That's what they're doing. Right? The ones with the money. The ones that can pay. Right? The ones that are willing to make a fucking deal with the devil. And that's about it. So, I'll feel good this is done tomorrow. I don't know what time it is, but I should be done by midnight, 1 o'clock the latest, which is good enough. And then it's been a full day. But it was a productive day. And then I've got this one, which should be just enough. I might even have to rustle up a couple of extra jars, which I should have, which will work fine for me. And then you see I've got fish.
44. That's the time.
I've got fish, got lots of salmon, people. I still got canned salmon from me. I had like 4 boxes of canned salmon sold in one time, but besides that point, I've got chicken. I've got hamburger now. I still have beef. I still have turkey, and from before. This stuff is just just make sure it's there. But before I eat these ones, you eat the other ones, right? Right. And then, corned beef, I don't know. Not that you can afford to buy corned beef anymore. I still have a few jars, but I don't know. That corned beef, that's the only one that I had a problem with all these years in terms of any jar popping. These ones I'm putting downstairs in the dark, in the cold. So they'll sit really good. Just gotta make sure my son can't find them. He'll eat them all. Right. This is for hard times. This is what this is. This is as backup. This is backup. This is what this is. Right. This is where you can go to bed at night and not worry too much. When they took Uncle John, left me with fucking everything, thinking it was funny, like the government thinks everything is funny, but then it was government workers that did that, so we can't be surprised, right? I fed my whole family for 5 months just on food stores. Minus some milk and eggs once in a while from the corner store and a couple potatoes here and there and an onion. That was it. And 5 months, everything else was from what I had. Now I still want to do another one of those sack of potatoes. Oh, and I did buy some more celery. Only because they were 99 cents a stalk. So I may still cut those up tonight and get them started. If not tonight, I'll do that first thing tomorrow morning. Because last year, celery at one point was $7 a stalk. Oh, at one point. And that was last year. I don't know what pushed it up so high, but it was that high. So I thought, to hell with it. Just pick up 3 or 4 stalks. I think it was 3 for sure. And dehydrate them. And I do want to do another one of those sack of potatoes. Because they dehydrated nice. Really nice. Right? Now, because then you see you have your potatoes, you have your meat. Right? I've got onions all over the place. And you've got your celery. And you've got the peppers up in there. Do you see how it all comes together? Right? So. Okay, so that's what I'm canning. As soon as that's done, which we've got 35 minutes, 35 seconds more. This was 1 bag, right? You can see. So the other one was like maybe $11. So what did I spend? 11, 30, 1, 2, 3. So $33 or so, approximately. And that is the skin, which I like, crunchy. And then little bits of fat, just meat and whatever that we can make crackling with. And also you can render this. You can render all of this, people. Right? So, I'm doing pretty good for 33 bucks. This one here was $3.19. Oops, sorry, wandering eye. $3.19 a pound. Right? Okay, so 9 jars. Right? No water, nothing. Oh, I forgot about the salt. I'm going to add at least a half a teaspoon of salt. You can always add more later. Right? There's my lids. Just wipe the rims. You know the routine. When this little button is up, do not try to open your canner. The thing will just fly, okay? The pressure hasn't dropped in there yet. I don't know why it's taking so long. But anyway, look at that. Doesn't that look good? That's so good in there. Okay, so anyway, just so you know, you don't stuff the meat in there, okay? The heat has to travel through, right? So, you just kind of put it in there, right? I mean, obviously, you don't have to worry about air bubbles because you're never going to get them all out in something like this anyway, right? As long as you just make sure that your lids can move to let that, right? Which I'll add in. I'll do the turkey. Finish with the turkey first on this video because we're coming to the end of this video. Okay? Because I got another video that I'm going to upload. I was going to put the turkey in with that, but I've decided to leave that video just kind of straight up by itself, right? So, you'll understand why you don't over-tighten your jars. And because this one releases its own liquid, there's no liquid in there. So that gives you a little leeway, right? But those air bubbles as they come still will escape, right? But you're not trying to get air bubbles out of this. As long as it's not squished in real tight, you'll be fine. That's what I wanted to say. So that thing I'm going to empty out in the next 10 minutes or so. And then I'm going to add some more water into it. Right? Put these in there. And there's another 75 minutes. I usually give 75 minutes. And then once they're out, you'll see. I'll all be here. We'll have our hamburger here and our pork here. It will be really nice. Okay. $4 in celery. You see how big that pot is? That's a big ass pot. That's why I bought it. $4. $4. Only $4. Okay. Do you see? It's 10 after 1 in the morning and I'm completely exhausted. But I have to say, I think I had a very productive day. I'm impressed. I am very impressed here, people. Like, I am so happy I did this. Like, seriously. Oh my. So I'm going to end this video now. Okay? And then what you're going to see after this is me working on the recanning that broth, that turkey broth. But I've decided I'm not quite done with my canner yet, because tomorrow I'm going to take this same size jar and I'm going to take that turkey that I picked off the bones and I'm going to can it with the broth, and I'm going to do probably 4 cans because I don't want it to go to waste, right? And so this here, did I show you? This here is for tomorrow. Whoa, almost lost the camera there, people. Yeah. So I'm just letting this cool, and then I'm going to put it in a bowl, cover it up, and munch on that tomorrow. And I saved the grease from the hamburger, which I am going to, what do you call it? baked potatoes in it tomorrow. So we'll have baked potatoes with that, with this, and maybe dandelion salad. Okay, here's the first, people. This stuff is like boiling away in here. As it's boiling, it's releasing air. Did you see what happened? Wow. I've never seen that before. Maybe I should have left them just a little longer in the canner. Everything's settled down now. So there you go. Look at that. Primo stuff. Oh my. And then we've got this going in the oven. Right. 225. I put that turkey juice in there. Do you hear these jars popping as it's releasing air? Popping and unpopping. Look, you can see it moving around and swirling in there. Alright, this is why you don't want to screw your caps on extremely tight, because if the air couldn't have released, as what it's doing right now, you can see it swirling. Here, I'm going to move back because the jar shouldn't break, right? Because the air can release. But if you didn't just have it fingered tight, all that air that's trying to get out would have cracked the jar by now. That's what's happening. So as it cools, eventually it's just going to seal. And right? You can see it's boiling in there. That's what's happening. And as it comes, and it pops. See, you can see it moving around. It's swirling. Right? That's what's happening. So maybe I should have left it in my canner for a few minutes. I think that's what happened. Right? You can see it moving. It's swimming. See? Oops. You'll see it go right by. See? And if the air needs to release, it will release. Right? That's what that was going on. Okay. Same day, May 11, 2020. Now, do you see that? These are my juice jars, right? I like to use these ones for juice. Anyway, do you see that? You seen my last video. You seen what these things were doing. They were popping, sealing. Popping, sealing. As this stuff was... Now, there could be two reasons why that happened, because I've never seen that happen before. One, I opened up the pressure canner just a little bit too fast. I should have gave it maybe another 5 or 10 more minutes just to have that temperature, that pressure go down. Even though that little thing that pops up that tells you can't open it, it fell down. I think I opened it too fast. And that could have been what happened. Or, now these are not technically mason jars, but these are very good jars. Okay? This rim could be off by 1/8 of an inch. This is just a speculation. 1/8 of an inch where it fits better on this jar. I'm leaning more towards I opened up the lid too fast. I should have just left it, because even if it was going to do that in the pressure canner itself, the pressure canner is sealed, right? And everything's sterilized in there. As soon as I brought it out of the pressure canner, and it was going up and down, I'm like, holy shit, what's pop, 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 right? Up and down, up and down. I don't know when it pops up. When it pops up, the air spit out, we've seen that. And then when it seals, obviously it shouldn't suck in air, right? So technically, I washed the jar. It was really greasy. That would be normal, I guess, in this situation. Because you've seen it. It popped and it spit, right? So, I mean, it is sealed. They recommend that you don't put them away right away. You leave them out at least 24 hours. Oftentimes, I'll leave mine out for a couple of weeks, because if they're going to pop, they'll pop then, right? Like one of these ones popped on me. Well, it didn't seal for whatever reason. The other ones did, but one didn't. So before you put things away, you want them to sit out for a while, test everything, right? So this is really good turkey broth, people. And to be on the safe side, using a pressure canner for 25 minutes more to recan this, right? Because maybe I broke the pressure too soon in the canner itself, even though I was able to open the lid. It's nothing for me to measure out 3 of these, starting with this, take a little bit more from the fridge, reheat it, rejar it, and reseal it, and this time leave my lid on for a little longer. And then I can try these jars another day on another project to see if I get the same problem, right? Because if I get the same problem, say canning beans, for example, then we know that these jars you really can't can with. But if it was because I opened up the lid too fast and it just kind of put everything in for a whatever, right? So that's what I'm going to do. Even though it looks good, even though it's probably fine, I just want to go that little extra measure just to make sure that when I open up my jar, I'm good to go. Okay, so 4 jars got me that much. I'm not even warming it up. Just don't put cold jars in hot water. So my water is cold. And my jars are lukewarm too. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm just topping this up. They say 1 inch of head space, but there's a fair amount of grease in here, so I'm going to go about that much. Wandering eye. Sorry. Right, you can see. Next time I do this, I won't be so rushed, hopefully. And I'll put the broth in the fridge and let it congeal. And then take off that surface grease. Right? But for now, this is fine. I like it. So. Okay. See? No harm for wear. Right? And this time when I open up my pressure canner, I'm going to make sure that it sits for a little while. In the event that because of the spinning, right, it's a vortex in there, eh? Okay, you do not have to sterilize jars, none of this stuff, when you're pressure canning, okay? So now you know why only finger tight, right? Everything is cool. I'm going to heat it up like this, okay? Right? See how nice that is? Now I'm going to start heating it up, and once it starts heating up a little more, I'm going to put my lid on, vent it for 10 minutes, put your weight on it to your altitude, and 25 minutes for a quart, right? Or a liter, right? Okay, people. It seems to be doing the same thing. And if you notice, look what happened. Instead of the jar cracking, it just blew up the lid because I left this on for a little while. And as these things are spinning and spitting, right? Just what we've seen with my last video. I'll put that here with this video so you can see it first. Or I'll put this and then I'll put that next. Anyway, this kept popping up and down as these things were blowing off steam. And then all of a sudden, and the lid was on, right? And then all of a sudden, that jar just blew its lid. But if you notice, its broth is still in the jar. Oh my God, man. What the hell is going on here? Holy shit. Do you see? So it wasn't the jars. Okay, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's the grease. Maybe it's the grease. I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that. It's hot. It's spinning. You see, what happens is, you can hear it, right? Until it completely cools down, then it seals. Just so that the lid doesn't fly off and hit somebody in the eye. I'm just going to leave that like that for now. What's happening is that grease, as it gets so hot in there, is spinning, is creating a vortex, and is creating air bubbles within the jar. You can hear them pop, 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 pop. So it's not the jar the last time I did it. So those things that I did would have been fine. I didn't have to recan them, because once they cooled down, they stopped doing that. If I would have kept the lid on the pressure canner, that just would go on longer, and obviously one lid flew off, right? Which I've never had that happen to me before. I've had a jar crack on me. ShaMay was canning pickles with me before she died, and she screwed on the cap too tight, and of course the jar cracked inside the canner, right? That was a water bath canner. So, and I've had jars crack in this from time to time, not very often, once in a blue moon, but never a lid just fly off like that.